Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Ebony, and in this video, I'm going to be recapping, or I guess giving a pattern review on these simplicity patterns that I used to make my Halloween costume this year. So this year I decided to be Scary Spice, aka Mel B, and to do that I decided that I wanted to kind of make like a three-piece set. So I needed a top, I had to decide between shorts or pants, and then I know that she always wears like some type of overlay type of thing, so I knew that those were the three pieces that I wanted to make. So for the top, I decided to use Simplicity S3010, and I made view B, this crop top here. This pattern just came out for the fall, and it is for stretch knits only. The sizes range from 8 to 26, and for notions, you don't need any notions for this top. However, you do need elastic for the skirt view, and then you need buttons for the cardigan. I have made this cardigan before, and there's already a video on my page about that. And so this was my first time making the tank top. So I made my top in a size 18, and that gave me a finished bust measurement of 38. Which was fine. And then I used a jersey knit that I got from Hobby Lobby. So this is what the top looks like. I'm in love with it. I'm in love with this fabric, honestly. If you guys know me, then you know that I love animal print anyway. So this was the perfect costume. But this is what the top looks like. And I primarily used my serger for this. I primarily use my serger for all of these patterns, by the way, but for this one, the only time I used my sewing machine was for the hem and whenever I top stitched down the neckband. And I just did a zigzag stitch all the way around that. I did not do any top stitching around the armholes. One, I just didn't feel like doing it because I just wanted to hurry up and finish the project. But two, it wasn't rolling out, like the seam allowance isn't popping out. So I was like, you know, it's fine for now. If later down the line it starts to like pop out, then I'll go around it and stitch that down. But I'm pretty happy with the results. One thing that I did do to modify the pattern is I extended the length a little bit. I still wanted it to hit like how on Mimi there's like a bit of skin still showing. So I still wanted that look, but I knew with me being tall and having a longer torso that I was gonna need to extend the length. And so I extended mine about 4 inches. And so this is the length that it gave me, which is really nice. One thing that I did notice though is, and you can kind of see it here, my top kind of drapes a little bit right here at the neckline. And I don't know if that's because my fabric stretched or if I need to make the neckband smaller next time. I'm not sure, but it doesn't really bother me. I just noticed that it doesn't lay flat like how it's laying flat on Mimi G. So no big deal though. I'm still gonna wear this top. The fabric is super comfortable. So it's still gonna get a lot of wear, but I just thought that I would point that out. Also, the armholes do seem kind of on the larger side. That doesn't bother me either, but if that's something that would bother you, then I would suggest making the armhole a little bit smaller. But it's also, if you look at Mimi G, it does look like it could be big on her as well. So, but yeah. Overall, love the top. Definitely recommend it. I definitely think that it is beginner friendly. All right, so let's get into the next one, which is the pants. So for this, I use Simplicity S9751, which is this pattern. It comes with different views for skirts and pants. I made view C, which is the longer flared out version of the pants. I have made view A before, the one that the model is wearing. I've made it twice. Very easy pattern, and this go around I wanted something that was also easy, so I thought that I would just give this pattern a try. It is a 1 hour sew, and as I've learned, 1 hour means sewing time, not prep time. And then if you look on the bottom of the pattern, it says sewing time only. So I'm laughing because the pants that I decided to make have these patch pockets on them. And that was my first time doing patch pockets. And it was starting to get like a little bit difficult as far as like the curved edge of them. So that took a little bit of time. But other than that, this pattern came together pretty quickly. There was a point during the project where I accidentally sewed the backs together instead of the front and the back together. So that took some time, having to unpick the serger seams and, you know, all of that stuff. So that kind of prolonged this project, but I definitely think that this is a beginner project. It is for stretch knits only, and the sizes go from 4 to 22, and you do need elastic for this waist. You need 1 inch elastic. I made mine in the size 18, and that was based off of me just thinking about my hips, and I still wanted like a flared look. I didn't want the pants to look too much like leggings. I wanted like a flare out type of style. And I think that that worked out pretty nice. And then again, this is the fabric that I used. All of the fabric is the same for all of these patterns. So this is what the front looks like. And you see it has the pockets and they are functional. They don't look the best, but for my first time, I think they're pretty decent. And then this is the elastic. So what you do is you serge or stitch it to the raw edge, and then the pattern has you fold it down, and then that creates your waistband. And then in each of these little seams here, they have you stitch in the ditch. So the side seams and then the front and the back, you stitch in the ditch, and then that is supposed to keep the elastic down. As for like modifications, I did end up adding 5 inches to the length, and that's just because based off of how they look on the pattern, I knew that they're supposed to be very flowy and long, and so I wanted to make sure that I got the same experience, me being tall, and I also wanted to make sure that I could give them the hem that they needed. I think it was 1.25 inches, if I'm not mistaken. So that worked out pretty well. They're long, but they match up pretty decent to the boots that I wore as a part of the costume. I had like a chunky boot, so the length was perfect for that. Again, for this make, I used my serger primarily, other than whenever I did the hem. And all I did was I just serged around the edge and then turned it up and then just did a top stitch all around. So pretty quick make, would definitely recommend to a beginner, even the pockets. You know, just take your time with that. But not many complaints about this. If you're a stickler for how your garments look on the inside, then maybe this isn't the pattern for you, because you can very much see the elastic and the stitching. So if that's something that bothers you, then maybe this isn't the pattern for you. But if you want something quick and easy, then this is definitely a nice, maybe like a palette cleanser type of project that you can do. One thing that I do want to mention though, is in the back. So for the pants that I made, I did the size 18, but for the back crotch curve, I kept the 22, because I think, is that the largest size is the 22. So to kind of test it out, because I didn't want the pants to be low in the back, I wanted it to fully cover me. And so I ended up following the crotch curve of the 22 for the back, but I still used the 18 for the front. And I think that that worked out perfect. So I'll probably start playing around with that in other patterns, is really paying attention to the crotch curve. Also relating to the back, I did notice that sometimes when I wear these, I've worn them about 3 times now so far. They're very comfortable. I noticed that in the back, sometimes the elastic rolls out, and I don't think that it's a fit issue. I think that it's just the fabric. I need to figure out a way to tack it down more. I think that if I could just like double it, maybe, but then I think that messes with the crotch curve. So I don't know, maybe next time I'll add more length so that I can do a double fold with the elastic, and then it can be encased, and then I won't have to worry about the elastic showing in any parts of the pants. But other than that, love these, plan to wear them all the time, have worn them all the time. They're very soft. And then I really like the pockets on the front. These are the first pants I've ever made where I had patch pockets on the front and not the back. And I had a slight thought to add them to the back just for like, you know, the sake of just doing it, but I decided to follow the pattern directly. And I'm glad that I did because I like this look. So happy with these two and definitely recommend this pattern. And the last pattern that I used is Simplicity 9716. I used View C. Looking at this pattern, I'm not sure why I didn't also use View A, because I see that there's also a tank top in this pattern as well. But I do like the Mimi G pattern, so I'm not mad that, you know, I missed this little detail, but maybe next time I grab this pattern, I'll go ahead and give making the tank top a try. But this pattern ranges from sizes 4 to 20. And it is for stretch knits only. And then it has a notion, but it's only needed for if you're gonna make the skirt. And this is a knit pattern, so if your knit has enough stretch to where you can just pull it, you know, pull it on, then you don't even need the zipper. So that is that. And here is the cardigan. So I made the really long one, and as you can see, the main modification that I did was I made it short sleeve. And all I did was I took the sleeve pattern piece and I looked at where the lengthen and shorten line was, and I just folded it up to that line, and then I just did a 1 1/4 inch hem all the way around. And I did that because I live in Arizona and it's still been pretty hot here, and so I didn't want to be walking the neighborhood with my son and trick-or-treating and, you know, sweating. So I thought that I would make it short sleeve. However, it happened to be actually pretty chilly for Halloween. And so I ended up wishing that I still kept it long sleeve, but I think it still came out really cute. I like the shorter sleeve. And then, like I said, for all the projects, I primarily used my serger for everything. So there's not many stitching, like sewing machine seams in here other than me hemming it. And then I have a 1 1/4 inch hem at the bottom. One thing that I did not do, so I've made this pattern, this will be maybe my 4th time making this pattern, I think. And it's very easy. I highly recommend this pattern if you need like a quick and easy cardigan pattern. It's perfect. But since I used my serger for everything, all I did was just serge, and then instead of doing like the stitching in the ditch, I just left it as is, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I knew that this was just gonna be like a Halloween costume, maybe a layering piece down the line, because it did come out really cute, but I didn't really want to spend too much time on this project because I was just trying to get it done for Halloween. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's nice and flowy. It's super comfortable. I love this fabric so much. I'm happy with the fabric choice. If I haven't said it before, I got this fabric from Hobby Lobby. They had a 40% off sale a couple weeks ago. And so I bought it there, and that was actually my first time shopping at Hobby Lobby, like ever, which is, I'm sure, hard to believe. But they had a lot of nice fabrics in there, and I can't wait until their next sale. Grace, if you're watching this, I can't wait for you to post on your community tab when they have their next sale, because I'm gonna be there. But yeah, I really love this fabric so much. It's perfect, and I think that it really embodied the vibe of Scary Spice. Also with the cardigan, I wanted to mention as a modification, I guess technically, I didn't add the side seam pockets. I just didn't see a need for them. I knew that the pants had pockets. And I don't typically put things in my pocket anyway, so I decided to just leave that off of the pattern. So my cardigan is just a very straightforward cardigan, no pockets situation. Well, that's all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have not already, please consider subscribing. Make sure you go back and look at my previous videos so you can see the sewing process for all of the makes for Halloween, and you can see how it turned out. Leave me a comment down below letting me know what you think. Like this video, and I will catch you guys on my next upload.